In this video, we're going to import the sign up and login process from the Notes app. So to make things easier, I've attached the source files of the Notes app to this video. So all you need to do is download the zipped file from there, okay? Then decompress it. So once you decompress it, you would need to go to your Fi FTP and then upload the files to your server. So here is the decompressed file. I'm going to select all the files from there and upload them to the server. I'm using a new subdomain here. You can use a new subdomain or create a subfolder inside your existing subdomain or domain. Okay, so I'm going to select everything there. So Command A or Control A, and then upload everything. Okay, now the next thing to do is go to some specific files where we had a link to the website, including files where we sent an email to the user where they had to click on a link to update their password, for example, or stuff like that. So we're going to go to those files and just update the link to the new website. So my new subdomain is going to be carshare.thecompletewebhosting.com. Okay, so those files are going to be as following: the signup.php file where the user is sent an email to validate their account, the forgot password file where the user is sent an email to reset their password, and the updates email file where we're sending an email to update the email. Okay, so before I open those files, I'm going to create a new folder inside our websites folder for our project, and I'm going to call it car sharing website. So basically we're going to use PHP, MySQL, Ajax, JSON, and more. Okay, so let's open this file using, or this folder using brackets. Okay, and then let's open the files. Okay, so if we scroll down to where we create the message to be sent to the user to validate their account, we're going to change the website, okay, to carshare.thecompletewebhosting.com. Okay, so that's the first one, and then inside this file, we're going to do the same thing. And same thing there. Okay. All right, now the next step is to look at the database and tables and the connection file. So if you remember, in the Notes app, we had a connection file, which we used to connect to the database. Okay, so for our new project, we're going to need to create a database and create all those tables, and also create a user that we will add to the database. So let's go ahead and do that. So we need to go to our cPanel and go to phpMyAdmin. Or before that, we need to go to MySQL databases to create a database. So I'm going to create a new database and just call it CarShare database. Okay. and then create a new user and call it CarShare user and give it a password. So let's generate a password. Make sure you copy that password somewhere, and then I'm going to use that password, and then I'm going to create the user. Okay, and now let's add this user to the database, like that, and give it all privileges. Okay. All right, perfect. So now we're going to need to update the connection file. So the host is localhost, and then the user is going to be CarShare user. Okay. The password is the same one you've chosen for that user. Okay. I hope you managed to copy that password somewhere. Save. Okay, and the database is going to be our database. Okay. Perfect. All right. So at the moment, if you go to the database inside your PHPMyAdmin, you'll find that the database is empty, obviously. So what we need to do to make sure the sign up and login process works, we'll need to create all the tables we created in the Notes app. So if you remember, I suggested that you keep the code that you would use to create tables somewhere safe so that you can reuse it later on. So what I did to make things easier for you, I've just placed a text file inside the zipped file. So all you need to do is go to the text file and you'll find all the queries you would need to run to create the tables. So here is our database. Okay. And if we go to notes.txt, so you'll find there all the queries you would need to run to create the tables. So the first query is going to be the one we need to create the users table. So just copy that and go to SQL, okay, and paste it there. So this is gonna create the users table. So the only difference that you will notice compared to the Notes app is that we're gonna add a few fields. So you're gonna add a gender field, okay, phone number, and more information. That's where the user is going to store information or extra information about themselves when they sign up. And finally, we're going to have a profile picture, and I'm going to explain that in detail. Basically, we're going to store a link, or we're going to store where the profile picture is going to be stored in the database. Okay, so we're going to cover that in detail. So we're going to have 4 extra fields compared to the Notes app. Okay, so let's run this query. Okay, so we need to select the database first. Here we go. Now we need to create the forgot password table. It's the same as the Notes app. And then the remember me table, exactly the same as the Notes app. Okay. And for now, I'm just going to create an extra table, and I'm going to come back to this table later to explain what it contains. Basically, this is going to be the trips table where we're going to store information about the trips. Okay, so for now, I'll just suggest copying the query and running it to create the table. And then we'll come back to this table later when we get to the trips. Okay, so now we've got all the tables needed for our projects, including the sign up and login process, as well as the car share trips table. Okay, now let's go to our website. Okay, so at the moment it still shows the Notes app. Okay, with a new database and new tables. So in the next video, we're going to test our website and make sure that the sign up and login process works. And then we're going to start customizing the files for our new project.